It's Wednesday, June I don't know the date actually, 27th, 26th, 28th, and it's Wednesday. It's a bit cooler here today, and my husband's appalled at me because I put the heating on this morning. Everything just felt a bit damp, so yeah, I'll probably be red hot and have a flush by the time I finish this podcast, and then it won't even get downloaded or whatever it is it does. Anyway, that's enough waffle. Welcome, my name's Julie. Julie of Suffolk Socks, and this is my podcast where I let's knit, all about knitting, sewing and craftiness and life in general. I'd like to thank all of you who are returning viewers, and a big welcome and thank you to new watchers of this podcast. Please be kind. I don't do nasty. Well, no, knitters aren't nasty, are they? I shouldn't say that. So if you like it, apparently you press on a down bar. That's down here. I don't know where that is, but everybody else points down there. So that must be what you do. And if you don't like it, then I'm sorry about that. So, yes. So what have I been up to? I thought I'd start with WIPs, works in progress. And I have a lot. I keep looking across here because they're all in my bowl. I don't have project bags. In my workshop, I just have a great big bowl. And these are all my cast-ons. I have a lot. I probably have about 8 or 9. It doesn't bother me because, I'm a bit fidgety this morning. It doesn't bother me because it doesn't have any effect on anybody else. But that bowl is always full. And as soon as one's cast off, another one's cast on. So I thought I'd just go through. I have some that I'm on the second sock and I have some that I've just cast on. These are my first socks, and these are just done in a plain vanilla sock. This was a new, I thought I'd give it toe up a bash. I've knit them a few times in the past, and I've never really, socks are my go-to project, so I like to stick to my old faithful, which is cuff down. But I thought I'll give them a bash, and I've got one, I finished one, but that looks huge. It just looks so big, but actually it fits. I don't know if it's because I've changed the heel and the cuff, the heel and the toe colourway, but they fit lovely. I don't know if when I block them, they're going to go absolutely massive, but we shall see. I'm sure there's somebody in my family that has big feet that would wear lovely daffodil coloured socks. This is in one of my hand-dyed yarns, both hand-dyed yarns actually. They are in the superwash merino and nylon, and this is the daffodil colourway and this is the heavenly stocks. And I just thought, I wanted to knit socks up in both the colours, just because I'm a yarn pig really. And I thought, I know, I'll just alternate, so I've done it like that. I don't know what they'll turn out like, but I can never get this right. But yeah, I'm pleased with them. So they're knit on using my Chowgo needles. I haven't got a favourite needle. I come on here and I say, oh, these are my favourite, but actually I haven't got a favourite needle because when I go look through all my stuff, I've got a variety of needles. I like the Chowgos. There's nothing about them I don't like. One negative I would say is that the red lace cable isn't as it doesn't I can't describe it. It's not as flexible, that's the word. It's not as flexible as some of the other ones, but the join is lovely. The point is sharp but not too sharp. And but yeah, I like knitting with them. They're all right. So that's one set. The other is another one I've done, cast on, and this is a breakdown of a new sock design I've got coming out. And this is done in my Yarn Tart yarn, the Yarn Tart yarn, and it's Lady Stash. And this is a Blue Face Leicester. My signature Latvian twist cast on, a small detailed little bit of leg there. I don't do a cuff. Down standard heel flap with the 3-stitch tab either side, and then I'll go into the start-out after the foot. These again, these are on the trousers, but these are the ones that have got the bend just at the join. Can you see there? Now, I've heard positive and negatives about this. I find this all right because I can, well, must be the way I knit, but it just fits nicely in the crook of my thumb and hand. So I haven't got an issue with them. So these are lovely, and that's the ball caked up. So that's my second whip. I have got a lot more actually, but they're just not in bags. The other one I've got is on, and actually it's all the yarn tart stuff. Sorry, I'm going to be a yarn tart bore today. A lot of it is with my yarns. And these are what I started when I went up to Newcastle a few weeks ago. I went up to visit my mum and dad up in Newcastle, and then I went on to a retreat up in Northumberland. And I just took these for simple knitting really. And I've just done a vanilla sock. The only deviation from my pattern is I've done a fish lips kiss here. And then into a start-out. Excuse me, I've just dropped it off. Now I do like the start-out, and I don't really have a long toe. But when you're doing this pattern, that's part of the School Socks Rock collection, you can always extend the toe by it starts where you knit 4, purl 1, knit to end, purl 2 together. You can always just knit 2 or 1 and then purl 1. It just makes more rows. This one is a bit longer than I normally do, only for the sheer fact I got carried away when I was, I just kept knitting. I was in a world of my own, people watching, not taking in anything that I was seeing or knitting or anything. And it's a little bit longer, so there's a little bit of a pip there. So yeah, so I like these, and this is in the Ted base, the BFL, Blue Face Leicester and nylon. I'm using, I'll show you the other one, I'm using Knit Pro Zing's DPNs. I like these. I mean, a DPN's a DPN. I can't use the Knit Pro Symphony, only because I have real problems seeing the wool. I'm not blind, but I'm not great sighted. And if I'm using a heavily variated dark wool, I really can't see the stitches very well. So, but these are nice, nice and slippy. I love the colour coded needle size, which really is just a bit of a take on the signature needles, isn't it? But they're nice. They do a good job. They're a good price, and I like them. So yeah, so there then. And my final sock I have on the go is with another needle, another different needle that I've just started stocking, and it's lovely. It's a 25 centimetre fixed circ from Addy. It's an Addy Sock Wonder needle, 25 centimetres, and oops, they have 2 different length tips, 75mm and 45mm, and oh, I'm dropping everything, and it just makes that extra. So the longer needle you put in the air, if you're right-handed, you put the longer needle in your right hand, and left-handed, you put the longer needle in your left hand. But you know, really lovely to use. It's not my preferred method of knitting with the 9-inch one, because I find that with the 9-inch one, my hands are so sore by the time I finish because I'm holding them really tight, and my arms are sore, my shoulders are sore. It's not really a comfortable knit for me because I have to think about it. But this one, just because it's got a bit of a longer needle, I don't really need to grasp it as hard. So yeah, I like these. I can see me knitting a lot more on them with these needles, and I know that I don't know what they'd be like doing a heel flap on the shorter needles. There'd be a lot of stitches on the needles, but I know they can accommodate the fish lips kiss heel method quite happily. So that's it. So that's all my socks on the go that I've brought up. Actually, I've got a couple of things on the needles that are designs. Yeah. So that's it, really, which I'm quite happy about. I'd be lying if I said there wasn't more than that, because I know for a fact there is, just spread all over the house. But I'll not bother about them. So the next thing I'd go on to is my finished objects, and I'm looking because I have got 3. I have got more actually, but I'll give them away. So my first two finished objects are, no surprise, socks. And have I got, oh, I've got a sock block. I've got one. So I'll put one on each. These are my new design that's coming out, and they're called Bunkhouse Bells. And they're a design I did for, as I said, the knitting retreat I went to, and we stayed in a bunkhouse. So they seemed the perfect name. And the ladder type stitch, the ladder stitch was to represent the ladders going up to the bunks. And all I can say is thank goodness I had a bottom bunk, because I would never have made it up them ladders. It would have killed me. I would have been in hospital. But Sylvie, who was above me, did an amazing job. So these are 60 stitch cast on. I have got my signature Latvian twist pattern into my just a standard heel flap with 3 stitch tab on either side, along and in the pattern. Now, I have knit the pattern on the top of this purely for design purposes, but I'm not a lover of having the pattern on the top of my foot. So if I've knit these for the photograph for the pattern, but if I was knitting these for me, I would just knit a plain foot, just because the pattern, well, I just think they're in a shoe, doesn't really matter. But that's just a personal choice. But this is lovely. I very rarely do a rib, only because, and again, a personal preference. My socks, I usually knit them a little bit longer, because I like to push them down, so they're a bit ruffled around the ankles. And therefore, I think to myself, well, it's not worth having the rib. The rib to me, the cuff to me, really is like to keep the sock up and structure the sock. I'm not really fussed about that. I like a sloppy sock. So I always just do this cast on. I do for the men, but not for me other girls. Well, I just don't do it. So yeah, I like these, and I have got 2. And these have been test knit by a few people. So the pattern's written up. I took the photographs yesterday with Lucy outside, which, she's not a model and I'm not a photographer. She's a photographer, and there's no way of seeing my legs, or I could even get down into the position that I wanted her to photograph them with. So we will see what them photographs come up like. I might be having to do them again at the weekend when my other daughter's here. So that's those. The other finished object I've got, an FO, is one I've had for ages actually, and it's been hidden in my box of socks, Cal, which I am aware I am failing miserably at, because I just am. As soon as I commit to anything, it's like the kiss of death on anything I knit. I say, I'm going to knit that for such and such, and then suddenly I think, oh, I'm not really enthusiastic about that anymore. But this is another pair of socks I've got, and this is a sock blank that I dyed up. I've still got to sew the ends in. They'll get done eventually, probably when I'm throwing them out, having to darn them. I dyed some sock blanks up, and I thought I'd used all the sock blanks up, but I didn't. So this one was a one-pot wonder, where I threw it in the pot, threw all my leftover colours that I had, thinking, let's see what happens. And this was the result, and I absolutely loved it. It's like, it's not really showing up there. It's like a gold, bronze, rich tonal colour with pops of like cherry red and pops of blue, but really pretty. And as I say, this is just my the Latvian twist cast on. I did a little bit of a decorative feature there, down into the heel flap with the 3 tab stitch out the side and into the starter, and they fit me perfectly. I really like those. But I hide these now in my, I do have a case and it's up there, because I know that if my girls come into the room and say, oh, I like them, look at I need my hair cut. And when I'm looking at the mirror, at the screen, I can't really, oh God, I'm having a bad hair day, that's it. I can't figure out which way is which, so I do apologise. yeah, so if my girls come in the room and see me knitting the socks and then they say, oh, I like them, it is out of my mouth before my brain has even registered to say, oh, you can have them. And then they end up having them and I'm left without them. So my other FO, oh, I love this. This is another one. I wanted a brown cardigan. I didn't want a chocolate brown cardigan and I didn't want a beige cardigan. I don't do beige very well. Well, I don't think, I've never really tried it on. So I hummed and hawed. I was all over the place. And then I thought, I had a light bulb moment. I thought, I know, I'll have a bash at dyeing some up, see what happens. So I dyed this up. And this is in a superwash merino DK. And the design, I'll just put it on quickly because it's getting a bit warm in here. The pattern is by Pauline. No, it's not. It's by Paulina Popolepsky, I think. Well, I know it is, but I'm butchering her name, so I do apologise. And it is a design for loop. And it was. Do you know? I could have, when I cast off, I could have cast on straight away another one. It was lovely. I purposely knit the sleeves shorter because I always pull my sleeves up. And then I thought to myself, well, if I have a coat, because I've got really long arms, if I have a coat on, which wouldn't be very often with a cardigan, but the sleeves would go along the cuff length. So, but no, I'll just stand up with it. I'm really pleased with it. So yeah, it was bottom up, and then you join them all in. I knit the sleeves first because I hate knitting sleeves. But actually with this, I didn't mind at all. But yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled to bits with how it's turned out. The pattern is just I'll see if I can get closer. A little design there, motif design. Like textured stitch pattern. Really well written pattern. And yes, I think I will knit another one. I suppose you could use the mechanics of the pattern and omit the design of it and just have a plain one. But the design is just so subtle, it's lovely. So yeah, so that's that. It's actually a bit warm to wear it, so I'll just keep it lying over the back of the settee. I've got 2 more things to show you whips, and then we'll move on to what I might cast on. Let me see how long. Oh, we're just going to do a short one today. My other one that I'm knitting, this is from Stash, the wool. I was completely enabled by Helen Stewart. I saw on her Instagram feed that she had started knitting the Vera Valimaki jumper, Confetti. And I thought, do you know, I'm going to have a bash at that. So I went straight off and bought the pattern, which and had a read of it. Lovely. Went into Stash because I knew I had these in Stash. Now these were 2 colours I bought from Yarndale last year. They are knit by numbers from John Arbin. I can't remember what the colourways are. They're all numbers, aren't they? And when I was at his stand, I couldn't make my mind up what colours I wanted. So in the end, I ended up getting both because I thought to myself, well, it's a great price. It was, completely overindulgent getting both colours. But I thought they'd come in handy. And if I don't wear them, me and Matilda can have a couple of things. Oh, that's just about right. I've been trying to take a photograph of these for Instagram and it comes up so bright red. But so this is it. It's top down with you cast on the neck, do a few short rows so the back comes up slightly higher. The jury's still out about the stripes for me. I do recognise that I am, larger. No, well, I'm not 2-ton Tess, but horizontal stripes can sometimes give the appearance of being larger than what you are. So what I'm going to do is when I get down to the, where you separate the sleeves from the body, I'll reassess it and see whether I knit the bottom half and the sleeves plain. I've spoke to the fashion police, which are my 2 daughters, and they said I should just knit it stripy. And I've come up with a theory that as long as this makes me look a size 14, long gone are the days where I want to look a size, where I could look a size 10. So as long as this makes me look a size 14 / low end 16, I'll be happy. But beautiful wool to knit with. And I'm going to a knitting event in a few weeks' time, and which I'll talk about later. And John Arbin is going to be there. So I actually think that's going to be my purchase, because I think this is a good, affordable. I mean, it's £15, around about £15 a skein. I need 4 skeins. That's still a lot. It's not an insignificant amount, but I can cope with that amount for a jumper because I'll have a little bit left over. So that means Matilda, I'll get a jumper and I can add it to something else. So that's my, that's my price budget. I'm not saying I won't buy more, but that's what I've got in mind. But it's a lovely, I've heard people rave on about this, and I just never ever got round to getting any, but when I've knit it, it's so soft that I'm frightened to look at all the colours on his site because there are so many that you're like a rabbit in the headlights, aren't you? It's 100% Falkland Merino, so it'll have to be hand washed and everything. Chances are I'll never get washed in my house because I'll not wear it enough, and I'll be frightened in case I wash it and it all goes to hell. But oh, lovely, can't speak more highly of it. So that's that, and that's flying along. I have a tent on an evening to knit that, and my socks are through the day because if they're test knits and what have you and patterns, and I'm testing wool that I've got in or dyed up, but I always knit that on an evening. Now the other thing I found, and I can say found because I did find it in the back of my cupboard. This cupboard here is where all my wool is. I haven't got a great lot. I haven't got a lot, I can say. My stash is in that, I can't do this, that box with the, that's awful to do. It's in there. So I've got about 3 jumpers worth, and, I've got my shop in here. It's looking very untidy, but this was the tidiest bit I could find that I didn't have a glare, and I've just put the travel cot up over there because that's where Matilda comes round on a Wednesday afternoon. If she has a sleep, I've decided I'm just going to bring her up and put her in the travel cot. So anyway, I was in that cupboard having a look for something, and I found this jumper I was knitting. Now, isn't that bad? My first instinct was to say, oh, lovely. My second instinct was to say, oh, bloody hell, I've got to knit that now. And this was wool. I don't even know why I said it because it's a lovely knit. This was wool I bought from a local shop. It is all acrylic. It is knit using Stylecraft batik. Now, for all of us yarn snobs out there, well, there's 20% wool in it. There's 80% premium acrylic and 20% wool. Now, normally I would think, oh, I'm not knitting a jumper with acrylic in it. Bit squeaky. And for Stylecraft, I stock their yarn for the socks and they're beautiful to knit with. And for the blankets at Lucy on Active 24 designs, you can't go wrong. They are just fabulous. They have a fabulous colour range that I think is second to none. And I've crocheted loads of granny stripe blankets in the acrylic, and they are great to chuck in the washer and then dry, tumble. Fabulous. They never lose their plumpness. Well, mine haven't. I love them, and I've got about probably 12 around the house, and the kids have got them and stuff like that. But when I saw this cardigan in my local wool shop, I thought to myself, do you know, I quite like that. And I used to wear a long blue woolen cardigan that I got from a charity shop, my sloppy cardi I used to call it, and I'd crocheted embroidered around the edges and on the pockets just to tart it up a bit, really. Anyway, I discovered a hole in it, and I thought, it doesn't owe me anything. I think I paid £3.50 pure lamb's wool from Age Concern about 8 years ago, and I thought, right, that's it, I'll get rid of it. So I I don't know what I did with it. But anyway, I haven't got it. I'm not in possession of it anymore. And I thought, right, so I'm going to knit this. And look at this. Isn't that just gorgeous? I love it. Absolutely love it. And I don't know why it was put on the naughty shelf. I don't know why. I think it's because it's knit in pieces. And I like knitting all in the round. And when I'm knitting in pieces with circular needles, I'm not as fast as what I am when I knit on the long straights. So I got some of the long straights and I was knitting them. But to be honest, I don't have to be honest. I knit with my needle tucked under my arm, so I was knitting like that. But I couldn't actually focus on the wool very much. God, I sound like I should have a white stick. You know, I just couldn't focus on it. And it doesn't matter where I positioned my glasses, I couldn't do it. So I've gone back to the circs on it. And so I finished the back. And I've added I think that's Stephanie, another lady who I chat with sometimes on Instagram, and we've been discussing that we're both knitting the same one. But do you know, I really like it, and so that's come out to play now. I've made it. Well, I'm not going. I have made it so it's big because I love sloppy boheme. I just love sloppy, really, and that is in my Kath Kitson bag. Isn't that posh? I love this, and I can just call it posh because my daughter-in-law gave us it. She was going to throw it out, and she said, "Jules, do you want this for anything?" And I said, "Oh, all right, then I'll have it for a knitting bag." And she said, "It's Kath Kitson," and that was it. I was just like, "Right, you got to sound. I'm a right snob, aren't I?" Oh, yes, give us it here. So I have that. So yeah, it was dead true. I can't say I'm snobby about my bags. I've just done a blog post because, well, in a few weeks' time, I've got some lovely project bags coming that I've been getting printed, and they're absolutely lovely. And I've been talking about what is the perfect project bag. Now, I don't think you've got you can't say the perfect project bag. I do think that with social media and everything, you see so many project bags and you think, oh, I've got to have one of theirs, and oh, I've got to have one of theirs, and what have you. And I am like that as well, but I always go back to my old faithfuls, and I've got 2 project bags that I will never ever get rid of, but I don't ever use, but they do keep me knitting stuff in. And one of them is a brown corduroy bag with plastic handles on, and this was given to me. My mum was a social worker. I worked for social services. She's an OT. And she used to go to visit a little old lady. Well, she probably wasn't old then, but she used to go to visit a lady who was one of our clients. And one day I was off school, not very well, so I went with her. And I took some knitting, and I must have just been about 12, not even that really. Anyway, when she found out I was knitting, she was showing us all her knitting and what have you. And one thing led to another, and we went away, and I never heard any. I know there was no more said. But later on, my mum had to go round to revisit her again. And when my mum went, she gave her this bag for me because she was having a clear out, and that became my knitting bag. Now, I couldn't even fit very much in it. But when I was there, I loved it. It went everywhere with me. So now it doesn't hold me knitting, but it does hold all my straight needles. And my friend's mum passed away. And a dad gave me the needles in the needle case that one of my friends sisters had made her, and what have you. So that's wrapped up in there as well. So that's all my precious things. The other bag is shocking. It is when my husband used to go away a lot on business. He went to Washington, and when he used to go to all these conferences, he used to bring me. He used to say, "Bring me the calico bags back with all the bump in." And I can use them as my knitting bags and what have you. It was a standard joke, I'd upgraded from the plastic carrier bag. And this conference he went to, you didn't get these bags. So what he did was, him and a colleague went shopping. They always used to bring me something back. And he brought me this denim bag back, and it had a picture of the White House on it with Washington DC on. Big white rope handles. Shocking. But I would not part with that for love nor money. And it's upstairs in my trunk, and it's got some of my old knitting patterns in. But I know exactly where it is, but that's my old faithful. But anyway, can't even remember how I got onto that now. Anyway, right, let's go on to the next thing. Future knits. I don't have anything planned. I want to knit everything and anything. When I saw Hoy Locatelli's starting point, I thought, oh, desperate to knit that, and I thought, no, I'm not. So I'm going to Pomfest in a few weeks' time with some friends, and we're staying over for the weekend, which is madness really, because I just live in Ipswich, which is like, what, 50 minutes, well, an hour and 10 minutes on the train, but I don't care. We're staying in a Premier Lodge at Tower London Bridge. I think that's the one we're staying at, no doubt. I'm just hoping we're all booked into the same one, because they'll have to come and get me. They'll have to take me to my place and then come and get me, because I am hopeless with stuff like that. So we're going to Pomfest, and as I was saying, I think my purchase from there is probably going to be John Arbin, the 4-ply. I love knitting in 4-ply, so I think I might get 1 or 2 jumpers worth of stuff from him, and then I'll not decide on a pattern. I'll just get enough to knit a standard cardigan for me. So that's all I'm going to get. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about my retreat. I went up to Northumberland to the retreat. It was lovely. We stayed in a bunkhouse. It was a posh hostel. Well, I don't know how bad I've never stayed in a hostel before. But this place, the Calico Barn, used to be a quilting shop that I know quite reasonably well, because I quilt as well. So I'd been there and what have you years ago. And it was on a farm. So the lady who owned the Calico Barn unfortunately passed away a few years ago, and her daughter took over the running of it, but changed it into a self-catering hostel. Oh, and it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. There's quilts all hanging on the walls, and it was a proper barn. There was about 9 of us. We all did our own cooking, group cooking, and we'd all washed up, all just pitched in. There was about 5 rooms with bunk beds in. Some had 2 in, some had 4 in. So some of us used them. There was other people staying there. The jury's still out on whether I like that. It wasn't a problem. And it wasn't a problem. The people that were staying, there were bikers, there was a couple of German bikers who were very nice. And then there was 2 men, I think, who were doing a charity bike ride. So they came in late at night and left the next morning. And there was 3 bathrooms. So, but no, it was lovely, spotless. The company was fabulous. Met some lovely, lovely people. Before and afterwards, I went to my mum's, because my mum and dad just live about 20 minutes away from it. So that was lovely. And I spent some time with my mum and dad, catching up with them. Because I don't get up to Newcastle often enough, really. Just me and my husband, we both work for ourselves. We've got the animals. We've got 3 adult children, adult kids, who are coming and going. And just life it's been going at 90 mile an hour these last few weeks. 90 mile an hour. And we just need to. Well, we're not even having a holiday this year. We're going to stay at home. For no other reason than we're staying at home. So, but yeah, so it was nice to be up there, and hopefully I'll get up there a little bit more when things quieten down here. And now I'm looking after Matilda 3 afternoons a week, which I absolutely love, but oh my God, it's hard work. Not bad hard work. I'm just mentally drained when she leaves, and I think it's because I'm so... Well, I can't ever remember being that worried when I had my kids. Maybe I'll just, and I'm not worried. I'm really confident with it. But, my house has not been child-friendly for at least 20 years. Or ever. Because when I moved in here, my kids were little in another house. We moved in this when nobody lived here. So it's completely not child-friendly. And I'm dreadful with my stitch markers. They're all over the place. I'm going around trying to find stitch markers. When she falls asleep on the settee, so I can't read, because she's just 10 months. Oh, and she's Do you know, I could eat her. She's absolutely lovely. Just happy as Larry. You know, she comes to me 3 afternoons and our other granny 2 afternoons. And she is such a happy little girl. And Mum and Dad have done a fabulous job with her, you know. But I'm shattered. And somebody said to me, it's because they are your most precious people's precious things. And I think they're right. You know, I want everything to be absolutely 100% because she's Tom and Lydia's. And I would hate anything to happen to her when she was with me. Although saying that, she has had her first injury with Grandma because I nipped her arm in the high chair. Oh, I had a sleepless night about that. And Mum and Dad were like, these things are going to happen. But me, I was like, oh, child services is going to be knocking on the door any minute. But she was fine. She was fine. Anyway, so that's why I don't get up north very often. Oh, I'm a right rambler today, aren't I? So, when I was up there, let's just check the time. Oh, I've got 5 moments. When I was up there, my favourite bricks and mortar yarn shop is up there. Ring of Roses. It's owned by a lady called Barbara, and it's in Whitley Bay. So anybody in the north of England will surely have heard of Barbara in Ring of Rosie. And she has a fabulous yarn shop, sells a great selection of commercial sock yarns and like, I don't know if she sells other people's indie dyed yarns. But anyway, she does dye her own yarns. And they were beautiful. And I'd seen a few postings of her yarn on Instagram, but I didn't like to phone up and say, can you put me one of them by for when I come up? So I thought, I'm going to go out and take my chance. And I did. And I bought these. Oh, aren't they lovely? Now I'm just looking in my bag. All right. I bought these. Well, I bought those 2 first, and then we went and had a cup of coffee. Me and my mum. And actually, I bought two of these and 1 of these. And when I was there, I kept saying to my mum, oh, I wish I'd got 3 different colours, because if I've got 3 different colours, I can do another shawl, the snow melt shawl that I wanted to do again. So I hemmed and hawed, and in the end I went back. So we've got this one, which is, she hasn't got names on these ones. Let's have a look. Ring of Roses. No, she hasn't got, but they're single merinos, 100% merino singles. So there's this one, and it's got blues and blacks in. And then this one. And the one I went back for was this one. Now, I picked this one purposely because, excuse me, I have this. And I thought, I'm going to bring this into play with it. Isn't that lovely? So I thought, right, and this was gifted to me for Christmas by my friend Helen. And I had started another, like, just a plain garter shawl, stitch shawl. And as soon as I saw that, I thought, do you know what? No, I'm going to pull it out and keep it for this. Now, I've thought about this, and I should have really put this in future knits. I'm going to wait and see what all the shawls of the Shawl Society, the second Shawl Society, are like. And then I might knit a 3 colourway shawl from that. But I keep hankering to knit the snow melt shawl, and I'll just get it for you. Excuse me. I did knit it using, you can see all my rubbish behind, can't you? I did knit it using some of the Fibre Company Cumbria. Now this is lovely, but 2 things. It is really big, and I wear it more on a night time when outside. But the other thing is, it's really tickly. Now it's I suppose it depends on your tickly tolerance, doesn't it? I haven't got a very high tickle tolerance, so I don't wear this. But it just lies along the back of my chair in my knitting room. But this, I loved knitting this. I was hoping I had it finished for the last retreat I went to, but I failed miserably on that as well. Because as soon as I thought I'll have that for the next retreat, that was it. It was in the bag and put in the naughty step for about a few days. And then when I came back from the retreat, I cast off. And I didn't really want to rush it either, because I really enjoyed knitting it. So I think what I'll probably do is, because I won't have much patience and I'll not be able to wait long enough, I might cast on another one of them, because it'll be a lighter weight wool, won't it? Well, I think it will, yes it will. because the Cumbria is heavier weight. Just I'm going to give you a quick update. So if you don't want to watch this bit, I'll say bye-bye and thank you for watching. But if you want to see what I've just dyed, I've brought out some new colourways for the yarn tart. And when I was dyeing them, I thought they looked just like a box of Edinburgh Rock. I love Edinburgh Rock. Oh, that's a really good colourway. So I'll just quickly go through the colours. This one is all red. And they're all tonals. Very soft, gentle, sorbet tonals. That's not really catching them. What's slightly better? Let's see if it's... Yeah, that's good. Oh, look at all the rubbish I've got to clear up behind. This one is juicy. Now, oh, that's it. It's not melon, and it's not coral, and it's not pink, and it's not salmon. It's like a good mixture of all of them. Oh, let's see what I'm gonna... That's that one. On the shop, they've come up... I don't think the exposure was right when we did the photographs, so they've come up slightly bleached on the site, but this is a more accurate colour representation. That's that one. This one is Sweet Cheeks, and I wanted it to bring out... I didn't want it a solid colour, so I brought in lots of tonals, and this would be lovely for a shawl. In fact, I think they all would be lovely for a shawl, just to complement each other. And this one is Dr. Kiss Kiss. And this has got, well, this one's like bits of yellow and bits of green, with a splashes of black. So yeah, so that's that. So they're in the shop. I've got a few left of each, I think, but they are lovely. And I keep looking at them thinking, we've come to an agreement, me and Mr. Suffolk Socks, my husband John, that when I dye wool, it is research and development if I keep one of them skeins. So yes, so my stash is going to increase significantly over the next few weeks. Since I've done the yarn tart label, because I'm filling the shop up with more yarn. And the Yarn Tart Club, I haven't mentioned the Yarn Tart Club. I have a Yarn Tart. The Yarn Tart Club is a 3-monthly subscription. And I must say, a big thank you to all the people who have had give that leap of faith in me, because I'm just new to dyeing, and the Yarn Tart is a new label. And I've never done a club before, so I kept my number small. They filled up very quickly, so I am truly grateful and appreciative of the people who have joined my club. So thank you so much. They'll be good. I dyed the wool yesterday. Oh, that is lovely, really lovely. Now I have made sure I've got one of them. And it's killing me not showing you them because I'm a right sharer. And I'm waiting for 3 things to come in the post. That should be here this week and next week, because I've just finalised them last week. So they should be with us very soon. And then you should get all your Yarn Tart Club, the first subscription, which, I'm thrilled about bits with. It's lovely. You can get, I hope you like it. You can get lovely stuff in it. The first months, you're going to get all the things. I had bought stuff to include in each month's subscription, but I've decided that you will benefit more by getting it all at once, and then months 2 and 3, you will just get the yarn. So it'll be like Christmas when it comes through the door. In fact, I might even post one to myself so that I get really excited when a person brings me one. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to go because I have to get some parcels posted out, and then I'm going to pop round and get Matilda and get some odds and ends done. You know, this house doesn't run out by itself, I keep telling my husband. So on that note, stay safe, happy knitting, and hopefully I'll see you again in a few weeks' time. Bye!